Hello everybody, welcome to All Sports Weekly episode 27. I am Trevor and with me this week I have Luke. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate. Yeah, good. Glad to be here.
Yeah?
Big week, so...
Big week.
Going to get into it.
Full run sheet.
Ready
to talk about.
Yeah, like there's a little bit of time left at the end for me rant as well. So.
Oh, we'll fit the rant in, don't worry, yeah. Everybody, as you know, we're on YouTube. You can catch us there. We're also on SoundCloud. We're on Spotify. We're on Twitter. We're on all that stuff. You know that by now. If you like the video, please like it. It helps give it to other people, that sort of thing. Leave a comment down below and you know about all that by now. Okay, first of all, before we start, around the grounds, mate. Let's go around the grounds.
Let's do it.
Rugby. Springboks have beaten the British Lions 19-16 in the decider. So just a heads up that the Springboks lost the first game.
Yep.
And then the Lions have, and then they've won the next two. So it went down to a bit of a nail biter, a penalty kick at the end. The Lions have lost. A COVID-affected series, no fans and so forth.
You can't say you're surprised at the Springboks winning on a penalty kick, can you?
No.
That's their bread and butter.
Yeah. From what I understand, the games weren't exactly vintage rugby.
Riveting stuff.
Yeah. The Lions are a dream team. The four, like Great Britain, basically.
Yes.
A touring team.
Yeah.
They only come out to each destination every 12 years.
Yeah.
They have a bit of a poor record, actually.
They do, yeah.
And they only tour every 4 years.
Yeah.
So in their last 5 tours, they've won 1, tied 1, and lost 3.
Yeah, wow.
Considering the power of the Four Nations, you'd think that they should be winning more than that.
Yeah, yeah.
But unfortunately, the one they did win was Australia.
Yeah.
So that story checks out.
Yeah.
And just on rugby, the All Blacks have beaten the Wallabies at Eden Park 33-25. No one's really too surprised. The scoreline flattered us. It was 33-8 at one point, and then we scored a couple at the end. Just a heads up, Australia haven't won at Eden Park since 1986.
Whoa.
And the All Blacks haven't lost a game there to anybody since 1994. And if you're wondering, that was France who beat them 23-20. So they haven't lost a game there in 27 years, and they haven't lost a game to us there in 35.
And isn't it ironic that, that's not, they consider Dunedin the House of Pain, and that's...
Yeah, that's the home record, Eden Park.
That's amazing. That's the cauldron.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a great day when we do beat them there.
Yeah.
So there you go. Another bit more pain for Wallabies. Now, netball. The finals are here in Super Netball. Now, I've got something for you here. The top 4 are going to play off in the next few weeks. The way they do it is first place second, winner goes into the granny. Third place fourth, losers out. Then the winner and the loser play, and that's the grand final.
Yeah.
Heads up, there's a bit of controversy in the netball world, which you can't say every day.
No, that's right, yeah.
So West Coast Fever are the premiers, have been done for salary cap for last year.
Oh, they've done the old Melbourne Storm, have they?
They've done the Storm.
Yeah.
So I don't think the salaries aren't high in netball, so I don't know how big a salary cap breach it was, but they were not happy about it. So rather than do what the NRL did and take premierships off them and stuff, they started the Fever this year with a 12 competition point deficit.
And they've still finished
third. And they've finished third. Okay. So they've got an 11-3 record, and even with the 12 points off, that's the best record in the comp.
Wow, that doesn't say much for the level of competition, does it?
Apparently they're under the cap this year.
Yeah,
so there's that. But the Fever are the team, I think, that the netball fraternity probably don't want to win.
Yeah.
But despite that negative 12, they've still made the finals.
Is it the Fever that have that import? I think she's like Jamaican or something, and she's like 6 foot.
Well, there's a few of them. See, that's the thing. I must admit, I don't know.
Yeah.
But Fever play Lightning, and it's all happening up at Nissan Arena, the whole hub. They're in a hub there.
Yeah.
So Giants finished first. Western Sydney Giants or GWS. They'll play New South Wales Swifts. Fevers play the Lightning. And we'll see what happens there. But if the Fever win with the 12-point deficit, that'd be a bit of a thing.
There's a Collingwood team in there as well, aren't they?
There is. They come last, mate. Yeah. They didn't feature.
Well, when you're on, eh?
We're going to quickly check into Formula One. I will have more Formula One next week, but just to touch on this, since the last All Sports Weekly, the Hungarian Grand Prix took place. And we have a new winner, the 111th person to ever win. Esteban Ocon has won in the Renault. This is a guy he's podiumed once before.
Yeah, right.
All the planets aligned.
Unreal.
And he's got the win, and he looks stoked.
Good on him. Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. So
where did Ricardo finish? Is he anywhere in there?
I don't know is the answer, but low down.
Yeah,
and just on Ricardo, well, let's talk about the race for a second. Esteban Ocon wins the race. Now, Sebastian Vettel was disqualified after the race because there's a rule in Formula One that you have to submit a fuel sample, and it has to be 1 litre.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. This is one of those little technical rules in Formula that
Make sure you
the layman doesn't
tamper
know
with the
about.
fuel. Yeah.
And they were unable to. They was running so low on fuel at the end, he couldn't submit a 1 litre sample, and they were disqualified. So everybody moved up a spot. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, Well, I guess that's just poor management from his team in the cockpit. You know,
Be like an athlete needing to do a urine sample and getting stage fright or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Can't do it.
The old,
can't fill the cup.
The one Tyson used to use, the fake penis filled with someone else's urine.
Oh man. So anyway, that was interesting. Now, just a heads up, or like I said, I'll talk about Formula One a bit more next week. Lewis Hamilton is on 99 wins. He's stuck there. Seems inevitable he'll get his 100 win, the historic 100 wins.
Yeah.
To put it into context, Michael Schumacher finished his career on 91 wins, and he was the GOAT.
Yeah, well, that's the thing,
time.
you know. He's pretty much the only race car driver, apart from Anton Senna, that I still, you know, is one of those names you mentioned. Everyone knows it.
Everyone knows it. Yeah. Hamilton. The asterisk against Hamilton will be that he has the best car by a mile.
Yeah. Okay.
And the others didn't necessarily enjoy that. But,
yeah. Right.
just a heads up with Ricardo though, he's currently running 9th in the Drivers' Championship, and the guy, his teammate in the same car, Lando Norris, is running 3rd.
Yeah. Right.
So Ricardo's meant to be the number 1 driver, and Norris is meant to be the support driver.
Yeah.
So
And is he drive for McLaren now? Does he?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because he seems to jump around a lot.
Oh, he's jumped a few times, but it's been a bad year for him.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And quickly, we're just going to touch on cricket, as Australia has been beaten in a T20 series against Bangladesh, if you don't mind, who have a half-decent T20 team, it must be said. We've lost the series 4-1, and in the process, we have scored the lowest ever score by an Australian team in a limited overs match, which we lost 8 for 24 to be all out for 62. And we look dire as going into a T20 World Cup year. We look like we're in big trouble, mate.
Yeah. Look, it's
Thoughts?
Yeah. I think we need better batting stocks, eh?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah,
we're
good.
terrible. Like it's, you know, when you got dudes like Mitchell Starc. I was watching the West Indies series a little bit, and he was sort of probably one of the better forming batsmen, and he was coming in at number 3, I think. It's like, that's a sad
Mitchell
state.
Starc?
No, Mitchell Marsh. Sorry.
Mitchell Marsh.
Yeah.
Marsh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And just a heads up in cricket, England has played the first test in Nottingham against India. A good yardstick with Ashes coming up. We know India's, a good team. They've beaten us out here last year. In England have sort of salvaged a draw with some pretty good second innings batting. Joe Root got a 50 in the first innings and 100 in the second innings. Yeah. So he's, this is in Nottingham, a rain-affected match. Kohli got a duck and didn't bat in the second innings. So Kohli a duck, Root there. So it's just an interesting thing with the Ashes coming. England are much stronger at home, obviously, but just keeping an eye on England coming into the Ashes, mate.
Yeah, well, that's not really what any Australian fan wants to see, do we? It's
well, England and India is a tough one to know who to barrack for there, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, mate, that's around the grounds. So, what have you been watching this week, sir?
Mate, I have been absolutely enthralled in the Olympics. I've been at the start. I was a little bit like, I don't know how much I'm going to get into this with the no crowds, and then lo and behold, Australia starts winning a few medals, and all of a sudden you're the number 1 fan. Sitting there on the couch with the flag around you, draped over your shoulders.
When it actually starts up and you realise it, and you're like, I love this.
Especially what I've loved about this Olympics has been some of the new sports coming in and seeing some new champion athletes coming to the limelight.
Because there are some people, there are some people who don't like the fact that there's skateboarding and they're like, oh, that's not a thing. But it brings a lot of joy to people.
Middle-aged Liberal voters.
Well, they're kind of old age actually, the ones I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you see it and you see
boomers.
the joy of it, and the athletic ability of these guys.
Oh, and in the skateboarding, the young lad that won.
Keegan.
Yeah.
Keegan Palmer ripped it up.
I saw an article today.
Won by a fair bit.
You know where he did his training?
Where?
At the local skate park at Eleonora, on the side of the highway as you're driving up, sort of near, just past the packed pines there.
Nice.
That's where he did his whole Olympic preparation at. How good is that?
I bet you if he goes down to that local skate park now, he'll be signing a few autographs.
Oh, won't he?
Yeah. Now, there was so many great things to talk about. We don't have time to cover them even closely, but I'll just mention a few things. Basketball, Team USA, the dream team, too strong. Had their critics, did what everyone thought they should do and win the gold. But Australia has finally won a bronze medal, or won a medal in basketball.
Yeah, how good was that?
That meant a lot. And Paddy Mills had a blinder.
Didn't he? And how good's that him getting the rewards with his contract, a new contract with a new team, and reaping the benefits of performing so well on this stage. Good on him.
There was a great moment when they cut back,
doesn't it?
Yeah. He just played like a guy's like, I'm not losing this game.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's more than just him, but he led the way flag bearer in the opening ceremony. Yeah. And when it went back to the TV coverage, there was this great moment where Andrew Gaze just couldn't keep it together and just cried.
Yeah, how good is that?
What a legend.
He's like the original. He's the OG, isn't he?
It was great. Basketball. It was great. Yeah. High jump, Nicola Mcdermott, who I highlighted as a one to watch last show before, has won a silver. And she's a bit of an eccentric one. She won a few hearts. So she's a highly religious person who has a journal. And every jump, she goes and she writes in it. And she even goes drawing and stuff. There was a point there where she'd had a jump and she was getting closer to the final. Yeah. There was a race on. And the TV was meant to be showing you the race, but they kept on cutting to her because she was riding in this thing, and she kind of she stole a lot of attention.
Stole the limelight, It drew it away from the track.
A silver medal, I think it was 2 meters and 7 centimeters, or was it 3 centimeters? But it is high, mate.
It was good too seeing Mitchell Stark's brother.
Brandon Stark
finished 5th or something.
Yeah, after his disappointment of. He is the king of Winterfell as well,
isn't he? Yes. I did see a good few memes
like that one.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I mean, we can keep going forever, but I mean, let's quickly talk about the Italian who won the 100 meters. That's never been done before.
How good was that?
No Usain Bolt. Obviously, it was open.
Yeah.
And he looked the part. And in tennis, Novak did not win the gold.
Oh,
he cannot win the gold in Grand Slam.
How good was that? The only thing that dude hasn't won, and it couldn't be sweeter for me, because
you're not a fan.
I do not like that guy at all. He's got to be one of the biggest flogs in international sport, I reckon.
And Zverev, has sort of choked, I guess, in the big game so far in his career.
Yeah.
He's been this big potential that's never really happened.
Yeah.
He's beaten Novak in the semi and then won the final.
Yeah,
a gold for Germany. So that golden Grand Slam, Steffi Graf will remain the only person to do that.
Yeah, how good's that?
And I mean, there's so much stuff. Anything you want to mention, just like... We're talking about the karate where in the final of the karate, someone kicked someone in the head so hard that knocked them out, and that's against the rules, and they lost the match.
It would have been nice to see a little bit more explanation of some of the rules of some of the newer sports that I guess the general public don't understand, because I did watch a bit of the karate, and like yourself, I was a bit perplexed at people getting fouled for
hitting them,
doing damage in a contact sport. But look, for me, mate, if you haven't watched much of the boxing, go watch the replays. The Cubans dominated, 4 gold medals, and every one of those guys that won gold are just, absolutely amazing to watch. Even if you don't like boxing, you can appreciate the skill.
Well, we're going to boxing, but the Olympics is a time of positivity and feeling good. I'm going to bring it down a notch and have a bit of a swipe at India.
Yeah?
India. 1.4 billion people population have had their best ever Olympics, 1 gold, 2 silver, 4 bronze. Now I don't care about medal tallies and that.
Yeah.
I'm only being funny, but India. Next time you're copying any stick from an Indian, that's 1 gold. It's their best ever Olympics. 1.4 billion people. They suck.
I tell you what, it'd be good too even if they added cricket as an Olympic sport, and they still wouldn't win it.
They would still win it. They ranked 48th on the medal tally. If you're wondering, they're bad.
Unreal.
Keep that one up your sleeve, everyone,
So
for
good.
next time you need it. So we're talking about the boxing. The Australian boxer Harry Garside there, he sort of got a lot of the limelight because he got deep. He's won the first ever medal by an Australian at an Olympics. How good?
Oh, first since 1988.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There was another young Aussie lad won bronze in Barcelona 88.
Is that the only one? Then?
Was it Seoul was 88, wasn't it?
Seoul was
Barcelona
88.
92, yeah, in Seoul. This is the first medal an Australian's won since that gentleman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
there
it was
has
the first
been
ever.
medals won before, but we're talking way back in the
Okay.
1950s and before.
Now, you said to me before this one that he would have a hard time laying a finger on the Cuban, Andy Cruz, and that was pretty much the case.
Well, Andy Cruz, mate, he's lost 1 fight since 2015. He is elite, world class. He's a magician.
Can you explain? You were telling me off camera why Cubans don't box in the big leagues,
in the professionals. Yeah. So I'm not sure if you know any of the history of Cuba. It's obviously a communist regime. Fidel Castro took power in the 1950s, and he actually outlawed professional boxing in 1962 because he deemed it to be a corrupt sport that had too much influence from organised crime, and it was
so he got one thing
too
right.
much financial gain.
So
He
he
was pretty on the point there. Yeah,
that's right.
But in saying that, the boxers in Cuba are essentially professionals in that country. They have, in terms of a communist lifestyle, they actually get paid a relatively decent wage. I think it's about $20 a month.
Wow.
Which is sad, isn't it? So,
but if those Cubans got let loose into the major divisions, they would wreak havoc.
I think they would, yeah. Well, you look at them and they're pretty good at what they do. Yeah.
Boxing, segue to boxing.
Yeah.
I've got 4 questions.
Yeah, bring it on.
Question number 1, Fury versus Wilder 3, delayed because Fury got COVID.
Yeah.
Everyone thought Fury was going to win this one, me included. You?
Yeah.
Will having COVID, does that even it up? He's obviously COVID free now, but is a stamina sport.
Well, I think there's a lot of distractions with Fury at the moment. I just saw an article today. Apparently, his newborn child is in intensive care as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how good his headspace is. I haven't fully read into that. I just saw it on my Facebook feed.
Okay.
So I don't know how. It seems like there's a fair bit of other stuff going on for Fury. It might,
Okay. Well, the fight's scheduled for October.
take away.
Question 2, is Zarafa done and dusted after his no-show with Tim Tszyu?
Oh, I think so, for
You
sure.
can't do that, can you?
Yeah. No, apparently Fox won't have anything to do with him.
Yep.
So
they're filthy.
There's his major platform gone.
Yep.
And I honestly, if you're another professional boxer, why would you sign a fight with a guy who's
A week out.
going to pull out in the last week out? Yeah.
I think that's he's done.
Yeah.
Now with Tim Tszyu, the question is who's he going to fight? Now he's got a fight with Tony Harrison next month. He's expected to win.
Yeah. Is that fully signed and sealed and delivered? Because I know they've been talking about it, but I haven't seen the confirmation yet.
I think it's meant to happen in September, but I don't know if it's pen to paper. But that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
And it looks like he might fight Brian Castano because Castano was going to fight Charlo. So there's a big fight coming this year.
Yeah.
They're hoping that Tszyu-Castano fight might happen in December.
Yeah, look, wouldn't that be a mouth-watering matchup? Like,
But is Tszyu ready for that?
Oh, I'd like to see him take a few more of those, top 5 to 10 before he takes Castano. He's a weapon.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Question 4, in less than 2 weeks, Pacquiao is going to fight Errol Spence Jr. Tell me a bit about what you expect to see this fight, an older Pacquiao, Spence Jr., no mug.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a changing of the guard. Spence is, the truth, Errol Spence, as he calls himself.
Yeah.
He's elite. He's going to be definitely considered, I think he's a future Hall of Famer potentially. He's pound for pound one of the best names in boxing at the moment. And Pacquiao's a bit long on the tooth, nearing 40.
He is, father time.
But in saying that, he's the great Manny Pacquiao, and I've been watching a few of his training videos, and it looks like he's putting the work in, which is something he hasn't really done in the last few years.
He's not going to phone it in.
No,
he's actually
and good on him for taking the fight, man. You know, it's
a big fight.
He's definitely not one to shy away from a challenge. So you know, much respect to him. Win, lose or draw, I think Pacquiao's legacy benefits hugely from this. For even just the respect he gets for taking the fight.
Who's going to win?
Spencer's going to break him down, I think. Okay. He's just going to be too good.
Heard it here first.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Quickly going to change to AFL. Not going to talk too long about AFL, a bit more of that next week. Melbourne's hung on to beat West Coast last night by 9 points, piercing down rain, and they even stopped the game for lightning.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, there was lightning strikes. They had a half an hour break.
Was that over at
in Perth?
Perth, yeah.
West Coast came back on, and actually it was a bit of a flogging, and it tightened right up. So the lightning break really helped the home team.
Yeah.
But Melbourne go to top of the table. And my beloved Bombers, in the game of the round, have had a gutsy win against top of the table Bulldogs.
On the Dons.
And given themselves a glimmer of hope for the finals. 97-84 they've had a win. Peter Wright, better known as 2 Metre Peter, has had a breakout game for Essendon.
Yeah.
And now, so we've got 2 games to go, mate, and the finals are there. Now, with the ladder, there's a top 4 and then the bottom 4, and the teams chasing. But the top 4 is broken right away. Melbourne on 62, Bulldogs 60, Geelong 60, and Port 60. They're up there.
Yeah.
You got to go 8 points down, Swans 52, and then... Sorry, Brisbane 52, Swans 52, my bad. And then you go right down to these last 2, the 7th and 8th, mate.
They're bunched up right there, aren't they? Yeah.
And it's out of Eagles, Giants, Essendon, Richmond, the St Kilda and Fremantle. There's these 2 rounds, massive games. Any thoughts? Who do you like in this one, mate?
Ooh, so I hate to be the guy to rain on your parade, mate, but I think Collingwood are gonna spoil your party.
Essendon play
in regards to the Dons making the finals. I think you'll lose that one.
I think we're a few people who might remember a few weeks ago I crunched the numbers. Essendon, in my opinion, are 1 win short of where they need to be.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, if it's in the Giants' hands. If they win the last 2,
Look, I think it's going to be a bit of a. I think it's a bit of a tussle between. You know, your Giants, Richmond, and Essendon as to who's going to get that last spot. But as you said, if Giants can just get a couple of wins.
West Coast aren't totally safe. If they lose the last 2, then they could be in trouble.
And look, they could do that. And they've been shithouse lately. Collingwood even they dominated them, and that's not something we've done to many teams this year at all.
Eagles have got the Dockers and the Lions. The Giants are playing Richmond and Carlton, and Bombers are playing the Suns and your mob, Collingwood.
Yeah, that's a good run for them.
And the Dockers are going to play a big part, rightly or wrongly, because they're going to play the Eagles and St Kilda.
Yeah.
So they're all huge games. The season's bubbling away nicely, and the next couple of weeks are going to be big, mate. So
look, it is pretty exciting, isn't it? Yeah.
Watch this space.
Yeah, but are they going to be able to play all the games with the current situation?
I think so. Yeah. Queensland's going to be the saviour, mate.
Yeah, always are, mate. Yes. Yeah, good old Anastasia.
Might be another GF up here, you never know. Yeah. NRL, guys. I got 2 main stories. Number 1, the Storm. Rolling on, mate.
Yeah.
Storm saw off Manly, 28-18. 17 games in a row, if you don't mind.
Yeah, look.
They haven't lost since round 3.
Yeah.
If you recall, they lost 2 of their first 3 games, and I was thinking, Cameron Smith, maybe.
This is it. Yeah, they're done,
Haven't lost a game since the 25th of March. And if you recall that Penrith game they lost, I reckon they were dudded.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on the Storm? Can anyone stop the Storm?
I don't think they can, I think they're a force to be reckoned with. It's almost got to the point where I've lost a fair bit of interest in the NRL because the Storm are so dominant. I mean, Penrith have been good, but you know, I can't really see anybody else winning the comp aside from Melbourne or Penrith. I feel like it's just... And, you know, we're just delaying the inevitable by playing the rest of the... I wouldn't even mind if they went to the finals tomorrow.
Really?
Because
and don't forget, Melbourne spanked Penrith last weekend. Spanked them. They didn't have Cleary, but...
Yeah.
They're dominant.
You know, that's the thing. I don't even think Penrith, as good as they've been, have a full-strength Storm versus full-strength Panthers.
Yep.
I think the Storm are going to win that game 8 times out of 10. Yeah.
Comment of the week comes from Michael Brown. Trev, can you discuss teams that choke approaching the finals next week? Yes, Michael, I can. The Eels.
Are you sure you're right to do this, mate?
Yeah. So the Eels have lost 4 of their last 5. They're in real danger. They're currently 4th, but in real danger of dropping out of there.
Yeah.
Now, if the next 4 games, there's 4 games left, go to form, I reckon they'll lose 3 of those.
Yeah.
Which would mean that they would have won 2 games from 9, if I'm right about that.
I'll tell you what, they've fucked up a few multis for me and my mates over the last few weeks.
Them and the Warriors.
Yeah.
Look, there's some reports, rumours coming out, the players aren't getting along. There's a bit of whisper about the coaches,
the old Sticky Ricky Canberra type situation, eh? Yeah.
Moses returned last weekend, the saviour potentially. We lost 40-12.
Yeah.
Parramatta, mate, can you cross the line through them? Are they done?
Oh, I don't know. I reckon they got a good playing list, so I think definitely it's not a great time to be going out of form, but I don't think you can fully write them off. I think as long as they're going to be in the mix come September.
Yeah.
So
I've done my little ladder predictor, and I've got them finishing 6th, mate.
Yeah. I think I think that's pretty fair. Yeah. I think the Manly is going to be a bit of a dark horse. We were
definitely
almost even contemplating throwing a bit down on them to bring the flag home just for the odds. I think it's going to be hard to beat Melbourne, but...
Well, so I use the ladder predictor on NRL website. Anyone can do that, and I just put in my 2 bob. Now, a few weeks ago, I went into All Sports Weekly headquarters, mate. I sat around the oak table, I drank some cognac and smoked a Cuban.
Yeah, nice.
And I'd worked
Viva
out...
Fidel.
Yes, mate. And I'd worked out that you need 26 points to make the finals. That's actually not looking like a good call. Yeah. Because there's the good teams are so good and the bad teams are so bad.
Yes.
There's actually this really disproportionate score.
There is, yeah.
And I've got a team that could possibly make the 8 with a 10-14 record. That would be the first time ever. And in my little humble 2 cents, I've got the Titans, the Sharks, the Raiders and the Warriors basically all finishing up on 10 wins, and one of them would make the 8 with 10 wins.
That's...
And they would be fodder for whoever they played.
It makes you wonder if we're in for another, potentially finding out the Storm have been buying jet skis and whatnot.
Oh, I don't say that. I'm still getting over 2009, Rob. Yeah, so interesting. 4 games to go. There seems to be a huge chasm in the best teams and the rest.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I think you're not alone in... You're not as into the NRL, as you have been maybe in previous years.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I followed the Tigers, so I haven't been greatly into the NRL for a couple of years because we've been so shit.
Yeah.
But I checked the other week and I went, we're actually not too far out of the 8, which... was a surprise to me because we've been so poor. So that
you
shows...
needed to you've lost too many now, but you're not that far off.
But and the Raiders, they had a terrible run, but they're still hanging on the fringes there. Terrible. So that sort of shows the
I think a team with a losing record is going to make the 8, which is weird.
Yeah, strange.
Now, there's a bit of a chat that the grand final might go to New Zealand.
Yeah, I did see that.
Thoughts?
Look,
would you be happy with that?
I would
the obviously idea is the full crowd.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's definitely better to have a crowd. Like that atmosphere really is what kind of makes those big occasions with the international sport. And
obviously want it to be in Brisbane, but the fact that New Zealand's been deprived of NRL now for 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It could be cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, hopefully might drag a few more Kiwis away from the All Blacks. Yeah.
New segment. Luke's lashings. You're going to lash out. What's been pissing you off, mate?
Mate, I am so sick of these poor athletes getting falsely accused of wrongdoings, particularly in the recent news, Jordan De Goey. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with. He's had sexual assault charges levelled against him. It's been hanging over his head for a number of years, and it has all just been dropped. The Victorian police have been ordered to pay him $15,000 to pay for his court costs.
Yep.
And everything's been dropped. And where's the recourse for the plaintiff for falsely accusing him of something that's potentially career-ending and
I don't think there's any. I mean, I'm not right up on the case, but apparently the accusations were baseless.
Yeah, totally baseless.
Yeah,
and
that's harsh.
Now this bloke's got that hanging over his head for the rest of his life.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's shit. Anyways.
1 hot minute.
Oy.
Should China be allowed to host the Winter Olympics in 2022?
Look, yeah, give him a go. Sure.
Is Will Chambers sledging fair game or a dog act?
Oh, look, I don't mind it. I reckon it's good. I like a bit of banter. I used to love sledging in the slips.
Did you?
It was great.
Can the Brisbane Lions still win the comp in 2021?
They're done, I reckon. They're
Over?
done. Yeah. No Hipwood, no flag. Done.
Should Roger Federer retire?
I think so. He's pretty long on the tooth and
No more Grand Slams?
Nah. He's too old. He's done.
Should Brisbane get a second NRL team?
I don't think so. I think take it somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
South Queensland maybe, but not Brisbane.
Yeah, not Brisbane, no.
Will Tommy Turbo get the Dally M over Cleary?
Ooh, no, I'm going to say Cleary.
Cleary.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Bang out of time.
Unreal. How was
Everybody, thanks
Nailed
for
it.
watching. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, mate, loved it.
And we'll see you all next week. And enjoy the week.
See you guys.